our national anthem on a Friday afternoon here in Cranberry Township. Welcome back into the broadcast booth, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go through the starting lineups quickly. First for the visiting Cedar Rapids Rough Riders. On left wing, Justin Graff. At center, Jason Musa. Right wing, Connor Davis. Defense, Thomas Corneli and Hawk Huff. In net, Ryan Cameron. For the Buccaneers, Theo Kiss at left wing. Owen Tylick at center. Ryan Seelinger at right wing. On defense, the captain, Ryan Kroll and Jason Davenport. In net, honestly, folks, I can't tell if that's a 30 or a 31. So stay tuned. We'll let you know who's in the Buccaneers net. You can roll for initiative. We are underway. Cedar Rapids wins the draw. They'll chip it out to center. Davis into the Buccaneers zone. That is Max Whelan down in the Des Moines net. Buccaneers battle for it at the half wall, trying to clear. Pops to Justin Graff in the middle. He couldn't get a shot away as he cut through the slot. Chip behind the cage by the Buccaneers. There for it is Kroll. Tangling things up in the left wing corner is Davenport battling against Davis. Came in front of the net. Cleared to the line by Kiss, but kept by the Rough Riders. Banking off the corner boards was Hoff. Came to the side of the cage, shipped to the corner by Lena, where the defense will possess and carry ahead. That's Tylick through center for the Buccaneers. Shipped it into the zone. Cameron sent it to the corner, then around the far boards. Grabbing it there was Graff, and then out to center. Coming through the neutral zone with it was Musa, and into the Des Moines zone. Grant Young, former Youngstown Phantom, after it. Puck all the way back out to the neutral zone. Chipped ahead by the defense of Randall. Grabbed by the Rough Riders and sent back in to the Bucs zone. That was Fenton. Rounded the near half wall. Adam Zidlicki turned it over. Dropped off to Young. Lost the puck, and the Buccaneers will bring it ahead. Zielinski chipped it into the left wing corner of the CR zone. Fought through a check behind the cage, throwing it back to the point. Just keeping it onside was a charging Mikkel. Around to the left wing side now. Knocked off the puck with Zidlicki, turned over, but then a steal. Howard tried to walk down the middle, but lost the puck in the stomach of Adam Zidlicki. Puck ended up on net, where it is swallowed up by Ryan Cameron. 18:25 left in the first. We are scoreless. Faceoff will stay in the Riders zone. Going to drop the puck to the right of Cameron. Deladonna to take the draw for the Bucs. Faceoff controlled by the Rough Riders. Mentz around the cage to the far side. Cut off by Rooney for the Bucs. Back behind the cage, battling for it. As it comes to the near wall was Mentz again. Worked it free of the check up to the point. Chip back down low by Schmiel, but right to the stick of Mentz, who sends it off the glass and out to center. Bouncing puck, Schmiel plays it away from an oncoming rider, but right back to a rider stick, as coming into the zone was Ernst. Over the right wing wall, but taken away by the Bucs. They'll bring it back ahead. Deladonna able to get it as far as the neutral zone before it's taken away by the Bucs, but entering the zone offside was number 29, Kyle Rohr. Carter Ernst didn't have a toe on the blue line as he was battling there along the far wall. Face off in the neutral zone right in front of the Bucs bench. Miller to take the draw against Wallin. Face off won by the Buccaneers. They'll go D to D in their own end. And snap through center. Looking for a touch was Argentina. They're going to say he got it, so no icing on the play. I didn't see it that way, but play will continue. Cross-ice feed now for the Buccaneers. Back over to Argentina. Up to the point for Wenkes. A shot answered by Cameron. Rebound to the Bucs for a one-timer in the right circle. That was Wallin, unable to get it on the net. Shot handcuffed him there a little on the one-timers. The puck's around to the left wing wall. Riders trying to clear, and they will. Carrying through center. Scuderi, but offside, are the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders. 17:08 left in the first. We are scoreless. Line changes for both sides. Faceoff will be in the neutral zone here near side. Just below where we're standing. Musa to take the draw against Tylik, and the Buccaneers will control again. But on the forecheck, it is stolen by the Riders. Graff tried to send it up the wall, taken right back by Tylik and forced through center. Bumped off the biscuit, but it rolled to Emmons for the Rider defense. Trying to get it back to Musa. Man was bumped off the puck. Left for Seelinger. His shot blocked just wide by a sliding and kneeling Justin Graff. Graff back with it now. Out to center. Trying to cut through his man. He did, but lost the puck as it's rolled into the right wing corner by Kroll. Back up the near side. Seelinger. Through center red. Found Tylik. Got past his man. Tylik cutting in. Couldn't cut across to the backhand. Nice back check there by, I believe, Graff again, as the puck is batted toward the blue line by Musa and knocked ahead for Davis in the right wing corner of the Buck zone while his teammates are changing behind him in 1-on-4, pinning the puck to the kick plate, trying to keep it alive. Great effort here for Davis. Finally worked it free. Spun off the check. Davis, center point for a Frister that is patted out by Wieland. That shot came off the stick of Carson Young. Now it's Zedlicki ahead to Zielinski. Zielinski dropped it back, and it's poked just wide by Nathan Howard. Back to the point. Schmiel, low shot, hit a Rider stick, deflected to the end wall. Zielinski through a check, has it left wing wall. Turned, fired, missed the cage, maybe off the tip of the glove of Cameron. Buccaneers buzzing now. It's Howard up to the point for Randall. Back down low for Zedlicki, centering feed picked off, but kept at the line by Schmiel. His low shot stick to the corner by Cameron. Thrown back toward the cage by Zielinski, but that went well wide, and Grant Young will poke it to center. From the red line, he chipped it ahead, looking for Ogren, who got it into the zone and got a backhander away, but that is swallowed up and held by Max Wieland. 15-14 left in the first. We have had our first couple of shots for the game. Shots on goal read 2-2 on the big board down to my left. Face-off will be to the right of Wieland. Ernst to take the draw against Deladonna. Deladonna will win that draw. McHale battling for it in the corner. Worked it to Winkus and out to center, but taken right back by the Riders. Sent into the zone by Bosco, but that found the stick of Nathan Deladonna around the net, turned it over. Over for a shot by Ernst, save Wieland, rebound, and they poked it in, but the net was well off its moorings. As Wieland made the initial save, it came to the weak side, but I think a defender had gone crashing into the cage well before. As Ernst, maybe the best scoring chance so far here in the early going. You can see our officials down there. Don't think we got to read them off during the pregame show. Referees, Calvin Stace and Luke Stork. The Lions people, Harrison Hayer and Gerard Lamoureux. Face off to the right of Wieland. Happy birthday to Matt McGreevy a couple days ago. Matt McGreevy, USHL Director of Communications, stopping by the booth. Deladonna to take the draw against Rohrer. Deladonna wins the draw and then poked it behind the cage. Grabbed there by Winkus around the wall. And taken through center by the Buccaneers is Deladonna into the zone. Cuts out to the right, but poked off of his stick by Corneli. Back to the point, cycled around by the Bucks into the left wing corner. Cedar Rapids are able to take it away and get it as far as center before it's poked ahead by Rooney. Back to the CR line. The defense has it for the Riders. They'll go D to D, then back out to center off of Huff, and then chipped into the zone by Bosco. Was looking for Ernst, but went too far, and it's grabbed by Kroll for the Buccaneers. Skating ahead is Wallin into the zone. Spins off a couple of checks, looking for some help. It came in the person of Argentina. Up to the point, but Cedar Rapids able to poke it back to neutral. Kroll poked it back toward the CR line from the red line. Still pinballing around here on the near wall. Finally contested by the Bucks. Kroll will go D to D over to Davenport and chip it into the right wing corner. First one back for it is Huff for the Riders. Chipped it up the middle, ended up finding the stick of Scuderi. Into the zone with a big hit. Going down hard was Sullivan Miller. That was a hit by Davenport, who lost his stick on the play. No penalty, as now we have a penalty on the back door as Kroll took out Scuderi near the post, and now a stick goes flying. A delayed penalty call upcoming on the Bucks, and there's the possession. And so the first power play of the game will belong to the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders. I think we're going to see an interference call. Interference is indeed the call on the Buccaneers captain. That is Ryan Kroll. Time of the penalty, 6:36. And of course, first game of the season for both of these teams, so everybody's 0 for 0 on the power play. Grant Young to take the draw against Harper Searles, but we have a whistle. All right, everybody's ready to go, and Young wins the draw. Up to the point, it's Young. Over to the left circle, trying to send it down low was Music. Pass came right back to him. Now it's in the corner, over to the bumper for a quick shot that is answered by the arm of Whelan. Around to the right side, Young hustling over for it, up to the point where it is kept by Young. We got two Youngs on the ice. We got Carson, we got Grant. And now it's Grant with it in the left corner. Feeds it up to the point and then skating down the wall. Across over to the right circle is Westerling. His shot is blocked, and then the loose puck is cleared by Searles. 40 seconds gone on the power play for Cedar Rapids. Riders carrying back ahead into the zone comes Ernst. Floated it down low, had a man crashing the back post. Believe that was Musa, but the pass would not go. Hit the referee and directed up to the point where it is kept by Graff. Center point for Ernst. Over to the left circle for Musa. Tried to feed it down low, got it there on the second effort. Poked just wide at the edge of the crease. And that was Grant Young who chipped it just wide as the Buccaneers get the clear with 45 seconds left on the power play for Cedar Rapids. Played to the line for Ernst, dropped behind him for Graff. Tried to chip it back for Ernst on the drop pass, but out of his reach, and it is cleared down the ice by Zupfer. Riders bring it back through center. Graff's pass across, hit Tylik, ricocheted back to Zupfer, and he will send it back into the CR zone with 25 seconds left on the Riders' advantage. Played ahead to the line and getting his step. Coming in are the Riders. That was Bosco. He scores! David Bosco sneaked behind the defense and ripped it past Whelan for the power play goal. Cedar Rapids on the board. Time of the goal, 8:18. Buccaneers control the draw. Davenport rips it into the zone, stopped behind the cage by Cameron. Back up the far wall it goes. Off the stick of Westerling, played out to center, deflected back ahead by Kroll. Came to the far wall where Davenport knocked his man off the biscuits. It ricocheted back to Zidlicki. Across to Kroll, off to center off of Zielinski, and redirected into the CR zone. Fed around to the right wing corner. Corneli out to center, where he found Scuderi. Cross ice feed. Cataman coming down the middle. He tried to go between his legs. That was Miller. But the puck rolled on him at the last second. Now a shot from the left point. Blocked in the slot. Grabbed by Davenport and spun out of danger. Out to center for Howard. And he'll backhand it into the CR zone. Huff battling for it in the left wing corner against Zielinski. Worked his way free. Tried to find Seelinger entering the zone, but chipping that away was Ogren. Played it out to center for Young. Sent it just wide of the cage. It'll come off the corner boards and over to Ori. To Randall in the right corner. Back around far side for Ori. Had to quickly protect the puck because Nick Romeo was coming for him. Now here's a steal for the Riders. They couldn't tuck it home, as that was Romeo once again. Now shot from the right point by Mentz onto the cage. And Whelan with the save and the whistle as bodies come together. 10:23 left in the first. 1-0 Cedar Rapids. Riders also have the edge in shots. 6-2. And it looks like we're having our immediate timeout. We will be back in just a few seconds. All right, back to action here. 10:23 left in the first. Cedar Rapids up 1-0 on the power play goal for David Bosco. Face off in the Buccaneer zone to the right of Wheeling, controlled by the Riders. Up to the point, trying to whack it down low was Justin Graff, but that shot is blocked wide, and the Buccaneers back through center. It's Kiss into the zone, across for a shot that is swallowed up by Cameron. He bobbled it a little bit, as I believe that was Seelinger coming down the far side. 10:08 left in the first. Face off to the left of Ryan Cameron. Tylik to take the draw against Musa. Now Tylik kicked out of the circle, and in will step Seelinger. And Seelinger will win that draw. Kiss trying to spin off a check as he was bodied up by Carson Young, and he will get it down low. Seelinger from behind the cage comes near side. Seelinger turned and fired, but missed wide, came to the back door, was picked up by Carson Young, the defenseman, and spun up to the point where it's kept by Schmiel. Off the stick of Tylik at ricochet to Seelinger. He couldn't possess, and it's sent ahead by Davis. Davis into the zone 2-on-2. Spins at the bottom of the right circle, looks for help. Davis still with it, cycled it down low through Graphic, came behind the cage, and thought maybe Musa was trying a quick lacrosse goal there, but that wouldn't go. Now it's sent over to the right point where it's kept by Fenton, chipped back down low, came through Graff, who was knocked off the puck, and the Buccaneers will bring it back ahead. Ricocheted over to Schmiel and sent out to center. Into the zone is Searles, but offside. Ahead of the play was Rylan Rooney. 9:11 left in the first. 1-0 Cedar Rapids. Power play goal for David Bosco. Deladonna to take the draw against Grant Young. Deladonna wins the draw to Rooney. Winkus fanned on the pass, but unable to bring it into the zone cleanly was Ogren. Back through center come the Buccaneers. Deladonna couldn't chip it past Hawk, who played it back to neutral. Taken away by Winkus. D over to Davenport. Popped up in the air. Knocked down by Ogren and brought back into the Buccaneers zone. Around to the right corner. Winkus got there first. Chipped it around the wall. Couldn't find Searles. It rolled to Hawk in the neutral zone. D over to Cornelian. Chipped back into the Buccaneers zone, but the Bucs bring it right back ahead. Rohr sent it through the low slot looking for Searles. It wouldn't go, and the puck back out to center. Deladonna sends it far side over to Kroll. Red line in blue into the zone. He'll chip it into the left wing corner. Rolled behind the cage to Hawk, where he'll just send it back up that near wall. Kept at the line by Argentina, but the Rough Riders able to get it out to center. Kept away from the zone by Ori. Is up from the red line, chipped it in. Cameron, a little trouble with it behind the cage, but it did ricochet to Hawk, trying to get away from the forecheck pressure of Argentina. Sent back around over to Mentz in the left corner, and then up the wall to Bosco. Got it through Argentina at the neutral zone red line, and then ahead for Rohrer, but he's denied entry to the zone. Mentz will glove it down to the red line. D, and then through center, where Ernst had to be careful as he almost caught a knee right there at the logo. Coming back in on the attack are the Rough Riders. Into the right wing corner, it goes for Bosco. Came around to the left side, taken away by the Bucs. That's Ori. To the half wall it goes, taken back by the Riders. Rising shot that is answered by Wheeland. That was Ernst charging the side of the cage, and now knocking it out to center is Howard. 3-on-1 for the Bucks. Howard in, shot, missed the cage. Zupfer was looking for the rebound, but he couldn't hold the zone, and so it's all the way back into the DM end. Randall to the red line as a stick goes flying for a Rough Rider as Randall chipped it into the zone. Came behind the cage for Fenton. Up the far wall, Zidlicki got a stick on it, battling in the right wing corner. Poked free by Miller, grabbed by Westerling and sent down the ice. Wheeland will have to play this, so no icing here. We have a penalty behind the play. A tripping call upcoming as Adam Zidlicki and Joseph Fenton need to be separated. And it will be Adam Zidlicki on the trip. So Buccaneers, their second penalty of the game. Cedar Rapids 1-for-1 on the power play. Time of the penalty to Zidlicki, 13:09. Face off to the left of Wheeland. Face off won by Young. Up to the point it goes. Walking it is Carson Young. Over to the right circle for Westerling. Snapped across for Musa. Ricocheted in the slot. Kept at the right wall by Westerling. Up to the point to Carson Young. Left point. Now center point Carson Young. Over to the Westerling for a one-timer. It wouldn't go. Back to Carson at the left point. Down the wall to Musa. In front, Grant Young couldn't chip it home. Battle for it. Chip toward the point by Musa, but unable to get over there in time. Carson Young, and he'll have to retreat to center. Back to the line for Westerling into the zone. Sent down low to Musa, bumped off the puck by Argentina. It rolled harmlessly to the side of the blue paint, where it's pounced on by Leland. That jaws a crowd. 121. Left in this first period. 1-0 Cedar Rapids, a power play goal by David Bosco. Face-off will be to the left of Wheeland, who has stopped 5 out of 6. Getting kicked out of the circle is Sullivan Miller, and will step Braden Scuderi. And Scuderi will win that draw, but Miller had his stick tied up and couldn't get it free, and it's cleared over the glass by the Buccaneers. So no line change, and face-off back at their end. 6:06 left in the first, 1:15 left in the power play, and a 1-0 Cedar Rapids lead. Miller wins the draw. Scuderi up to the point to Huff. Over to the top of the left circle for Ogren. Back to Ogren, and now back to the point for Huff. Surveys the scene, back into the left circle for Ogren, back center point for Huff. Over to Scuderi, top of the right circle, quickly across, where they'll flick it down low, rebound, and Miller couldn't get that home. His stick was contacted at the last moment, and then the puck is cleared by Wallin. Cameron sets it up for Huff, 43 seconds left in the power play. Heavy forecheck pressure here by Tylik, trying to force the issue. Got it to center for Miller, but the puck rolled to Davenport, who sends it back into the Rough Riders zone. 30 seconds left on the advantage as Hawk will carry ahead. Sent over to Scuderi into the zone. Forced back to the point by Tylik, chipped it down low. Was looking for Scuderi, but that was Connor Davis, but that pass would not go. Now Scuderi gets it again, chipped it behind the cage. Wheeland got a piece of it, sends it back up the wall. 5 seconds left in the power play as it comes to Zupfer to carry through center. Into the zone 1-on-4, he'll chip it down low and head off for a change as the power play, the tripping penalty to Adam Zidlicki has expired. Kept in the zone by Randall in the left circle, chipped it down low, looking for a redirect by Zielinski, but that was sent into the mesh. 4:41 left in the first. 1-0 Cedar Rapids, shots on goal 6-3. in favor of the Riders. Face-off will be to the right of Cameron, who has not been terribly busy here so far in the early afternoon. And Zielinski going to get kicked out of the circle. Howard will step in to take the draw. And now Carter Ernst will get kicked out of the circle. Bosco will step in to take the draw. And Bosco will win that draw. Loose in front of the blue paint, chipped out to the line, kept by Randall, fed it down through Zielinski to the left wing wall, where it's going to trickle through for Zidlicki. Carried below the goal line, centering feed, came out to the right point, little toe drag and shot for Ori. That is blocked, and loose puck out to center. Coming back ahead is Bosco. Into the zone, ran into Randall. The puck sent back out to center. Bosco regathers there. Into the zone for a shot. Blocker save by Whelan on that shot from the top of the right circle. Rebound came to Zielinski. Spins away from traffic. Buck's got to be careful. He almost had too many men on the ice there as Bosco gets another steal and carried into the zone, but Kiss knocked it off of his stick, and Seelinger brings it ahead. Skate to stick into the zone, trying to cut through two. Still has the puck as it rolls behind the cage, though. Poked to the corner by the Riders. Grabbed there by Bosco. Couldn't exit the zone. Good stick by Tylik, but second effort got it out to neutral. Passed it across to Rohrer, who just chips it down low so the Riders can start a line change. 3:36 left in the first, 1-0 Cedar Rapids. Tylik redirects it into the Cedar Rapids zone, but on the wrong side of center red, so icing will be called on the Des Moines Buccaneers. Face off to the right of Whelan, who stopped 6 out of 7. Musa to take the draw against Tylik. Face-off warning on Musa. And Musa ends up winning the draw, chipped it to the point. Line was kept by Emmons, sent over to the right wing corner. Side of the cage, Rough Riders dropped it back for a quick one-timer on a crashing defenseman. Believe that was Emmons. Came in down the left point. Shot would not go, and it's Fenton back for it. Lost the puck in his own end to Kiss. Around the cage, Kiss got tripped up, and that'll be a penalty on the Rough Riders. And Des Moines will head to the power play for the first time. Face-off will be to the left of Ryan Cameron. Tripping penalty is on Charlie Emmons. And Cedar Rapids wins the face-off and gets the clear out to center. Carrying ahead is Ori. Red line, and then tried to make a pass over to Zielicki. Now ricochets over to Tylik into the zone. To Seelinger. Up to the point for Zielinski. Zielinski top of left circle. Down low for Seelinger. Tried to play it into the bumper. They were looking for Tylik. It wouldn't go. Nice keep by Ori at the left point. Tylik to Ori. Center point now. Top of the right circle for Zidlicki. Center point Ori. Zidlicki quickly across. Zielinski eyed the cage to Ori. One-timer blocked. Puck stays in the zone. 45 seconds gone on the power play. Hawk cuts off the dump in on the right wing wall and chips it down the ice. Whelan sets it up behind the cage. Coming ahead with it is Randall. Dropped it back for Howard. Gains the red line. Couldn't chip it ahead cleanly for Rooney. Rolled back to Howard, but getting a clear again are the Rough Riders. Randall carrying ahead. Then dropped it back for Howard. Over to Zupfer, and then Kiss chipped it down the left wing wall. Came back to Zupfer, fed it in front. Nice backhanded feed, but Howard couldn't get to it in time. Was played away by Cameron. Kiss with 25 seconds left on the power play. Across the blue line. Now off a skate, kept at the line by Randall. Floated back down the wall for Zupfer. Back to Randall, and across for Howard. side of the cage for Kiss. Couldn't play it to Rooney. Popped out to Howard. Back over to Howard for a shot. 6 saved by Cameron. 5 seconds left in the power play. Center point. Randall. Shot. Shoulder save by Cameron. Rebound kept. Howard turned. Fired. Ripped it wide of the cage. And now back to even strength are the Rough Riders. Last minute of play in the first period. 1-0 Cedar Rapids. Fanning on a shot from up high was Grant Young. Took a high hit, almost an elbow right to the jaw there by Theo Kiss, cutting across as the Riders are offside. Lucky for Grant to avoid that check as it's Huff with it in the neutral zone. Kroll chipped it over to Deladonna with 35 seconds left. Banked ahead for Searles. Stick down by Wallin. Deladonna couldn't handle it. Musa back-ended it out to center. Coming ahead quickly are the Riders, but losing the puck was Graff. Lost an edge and went down hard in the corner boards as Des Moines sent it back to center with 15 seconds left. Huff, D to D, over to Corneli, then back to Huff and chipped into the Des Moines zone. Rolls behind the cage with 10 seconds left. Over in the corner, it's Graff. Surveys the scene, made a man miss. Tried to send it to a man in the circle. That was Davis, but the Buccaneers pin it to the corner boards, and that will do it for the first period. Power play goal for David Bosco has given the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders a 1-0 lead at the end of the first period. Shots on goal in the first 9-5 in favor of the Rough Riders. We're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, second period action between Des Moines and Cedar Rapids here for you on Flow Hockey.
Resilience starts with confidence. At Rapids Contract and Design, we deliver food service operations you can rely on. Our certified design team takes a collaborative approach, creating kitchens that perform, last, and adapt to your business needs. Resilience means being ready for what's next. Rapids creates food service spaces designed to adapt and grow. Through future-focused planning and consultative design, we help architects, engineers, and facility leaders turn vision into lasting performance. Resilience is more than building for today. It's designing for the next decade. At Rapids, we think 10, 20, even 30 years ahead, ensuring your food service operation is efficient, competitive, and built to endure. Built on vision. Designed for tomorrow. Visit us at booth 106 at the AIA Iowa Conference in Des Moines, or learn more at rapidscontract.com.
Welcome back inside the UPMC Lemieux Sports Complex here in Cranberry Township, Pennsylvania for the start of the second period. Cedar Rapids with the 1-0 lead. Power play goal for David Bosco. Welcome back into the broadcast booth, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Matt Lipsack, the voice of the Youngstown Phantoms. Thank you for spending part of your Friday afternoon or evening with us here on Flow Hockey. Before you maybe head to some Friday night football, roll for initiative, second period underway. Cedar Rapids controls the draw. Davis chips it into the Buck zone. Whelan sent it over the corner for Kroll. Tried to get it up the wall to Kiss. It would not go. It's back into the Riders' zone. Hustling back for it was Corneli. Up the far wall, Tyleck's going to get a piece of that for the Bucks. Kicked it over to Seelinger. Back to the point, Davenport couldn't hold the line. He'll backtrack to center, go D over to Cole, who rips right on net, and that is gloved down by Cameron. Left it for Corneli, taken away in the corner by Kiss, but that goes right back to the Riders as Graff chips it out to center. Davis had it bounce under his stick. It's picked up by Kiss and brought back into the zone. Kiss, top of the left circle. His shot was blocked. Came back to Musa. And then over to Davis, back to Musa at center. Into the zone, 3-on-2. Hustling toward the net was Graff, but he couldn't take the pass cleanly. Caught up to it in the left corner, sending it around the wall, looking for Davis. Going to roll back to the point for a shot by Mentz. That was blocked along the way and went below the goal line. Tyleck pops it over to Ori. He'll turn and try to give it back to Randall. It bounced on him, and Cedar Rapids going to hop right on that puck. That's Grant Young. Pinballing around, Seelinger gets control for the Bucks. Tried a little start-stop move on Mentz, wouldn't have it. Puck back into the Des Moines zone, but it's going to roll free to Ori. Banked it up the wall to Randu, who will lift it out to center, and look out from behind. Nathan Howard almost took a heavy hit as the puck rolls down the ice to Miner. Back out to center into the zone comes Young. Over to Ogren, back to Romeo. Puck loose at the side of the cage, pinballing around, poked to the corner by Randall. Picked up by Howard. Couldn't clear. Line was kept at least for a moment by Miner. Bucks took it away, but still can't clear. Now finally they do get it through center. That's Tyleck off the red wall and into the right wing corner for Zidlicki. Couldn't take it cleanly, and it's going to be Romeo. Middle of the ice for Ogren, into the zone, chipped it to the right wing corner, but the Riders are offside, and instead of touching up, they're just going to go for the line change. Howard into the zone. Chipped it behind the cage, Zidlicki after it, but getting there first was Fenton. Up the wall, it rolled over to Carson Young, sent it back to Fenton, and then out to center, looking for Ernst. Rolled to McKell, who sent it back into the zone. Carson Young over the right wing corner for Fenton, up the near wall to Ernst. Poked off of his stick by Rylan Rooney and turned over. Zielinski tried to chip it down low for a crashing Searles. It wouldn't go. Puck ripped wide of the net from the left point off the corner boards. All the way down the ice it goes. Picked up by McKellen, retreating behind his own net. Now trades it off to Schmiel. Out to center for Rooney. One hand on his stick. Able to corral it. Got it to Searles. Ricochets over to Deladoni. Couldn't pull the trigger. Able to protect the puck and get it back over to Searles. Toe drag shot blocked along the way. Rebound over to the right point. Hustling over to it was Searles. Centering feet, but that is picked off by the Riders, and taking a hit to make the play there was Bosco. He got it out to center, and Ernst trying to walk through the zone, but a nice shove by Henry Schmiel knocked him off the puck, and the Bucks will bring it back ahead. It's Rooney into the zone. Dropped it behind him for Searles. Tried to get a shot, but didn't get a lot on it. It's kicked away easily by Cameron. Back into the zone come the Riders. Huff's shot missed the cage. Around to the near wall it went. Riders will play it back out to center. Westerland. Across over to Huff. And into the zone. Miller after it in the right wing corner. Miller spun off the check. Got it right side for Scuderi. Dropped back through the slot, but unable to keep it at the line. Mason Miner. He'll backtrack into his own end for it. Played it back to the line. Redirected in by Miller. First one to it is going to be Wenkes. Fires around the wall, kept by Scuderi. Centering feed looking for Miller, would not go. Skated to the neutral zone by Argentina. Into the zone comes Wenkes. Backhanded behind the cage, but out of the reach of Zupfer. Came around far side and then chipped back below the goal line by the Riders. Grabbed there by Mentz, D to Miner, and then back across over to Mentz. Snapped it ahead, was looking for Scuderi up at the Buccaneers line. That pass wouldn't go, and we are back in the Cedar Rapids zone. Puck chip behind the cage, and it's Miner off the near wall and out to center for Graff. Ahead to Scuderi, into the Bucs zone left side. Graff pulled it out of traffic, brought it below the goal line into the corner, back to Scuderi. Rolled off his stick just as he was about to pull the trigger, and it's Tylik ahead through center. Red line, and then over to Theo Kiss far side. Drop back for a one-timer, and that came off the stick of Keaton Ori and went wide. Kiss with it in the slot. Turned and fired. His shot was blocked. It rolled into the right wing corner. Seelinger wedged off nicely. Puck worked up to the line by Musa, but kept by Ori. Turned and fired. Glove down in the slot by the Buccaneers, and then passed ahead for a breaking Justin Graff. Graff on goal, got the shot away. Wheelant with the shoulder save. Keeping this a 1-0 game as Tylik back into the Bucs zone. Into the right wing corner with it. To Seelinger, step through a check into the blue paint. Puck popped out in front, but it's cleared out to center by the Rider defense. Back for it is Schmiel. D to D over to Randall, back to Schmiel, far side, and then over to Zielinski at the near. Danced around one and into the zone. Zielinski had it roll off his stick and into the corner. Wedged up that near wall. Howard couldn't get it to a defenseman, and it'll be the Riders carrying it down the ice. That's Romeo left wing goal. He's run over from behind by Howard. Puck back out to the neutral zone. Ogren dropped it back to the defense, back ahead to the line for Romeo and into the zone. Knocked off the puck with Schmiel, came to the Riders. Fed it in front, loose in the blue paint. Wheelant couldn't make the second save, and it's chipped in. Cedar Rapids has scored. They got a couple of whacks at it in the blue paint and putting it home out of Stockholm, Sweden. Number 19, Noel Ogren, giving the Rough Riders a 2-0 lead. Time of the goal, 6:27. Puck was fed to the weak post. Near side, Wheelant kept the initial shot out, but Riders got a couple of whacks at it, and Ogren able to get it in. And now back in the zone they come. It's Rohrer up to the left point for Carson Young. Toe drag shot redirected into the slot and went wide. Rohrer after that loose puck. Right circle up to the right point. Now D to D over to Young. Young shot hit an ankle in the slot and bounces over to Deladonna. Again, 2-0 Rough Riders. Goal moments ago by Noel Ogren. Back into the zone they come for a rising wrister by Ernst that missed the cage but stayed in play. Now quickly back across for a one-timer off the stick of Bosco. That went wide as well. Miner back to the point for a ricocheting shot that Bosco just redirected wide. Tried to bank it in off of Wheeland, it wouldn't go. Puck to the right wall. Ernst with it. Bodied up and taken into the corner by Wenkes, and Des Moines just going to ice the puck here as they got some quick possession, but this one's going to die short of the icing line, and Miner will snap it ahead to Carson Young. Up ahead to Westerland. To Miller, across to Scuderi. He couldn't pull the trigger. Back to the point. D to D over to Miner. His wrists are wide of the cage. Came weak side for Westerland to Scuderi, and then up to the point for Young. Fed down low for Scuderi. His shot sticked out by Wheelant. Puck into the left corner. Westerling forced it around but was knocked off the puck, and Wenkes will just clear it out to center. Mentz sticks it down for the Riders. Sent back to the line, but yes, offside was Westerling. He had not completely exited the zone yet. 12 minutes exactly left in the second, and we will have our media timeout back in 60 seconds here on Flow Hockey. Back inside the UPMC Lemieux Sports Complex. 12 minutes left in the second period. 2-0 Cedar Rapids. Voice of the Youngstown Phantoms, Matt Lipsack here with you on Flow Hockey. Faceoff will be to the right of Ryan Cameron. Draw one by Tylik, back to Seelinger, but his shot stick to the meshing. Never got in on Cameron. We'll drop the puck to the right of Cameron once more. Cedar Rapids to the line change. Tylik to take the draw against Grant Young. And Young will win that draw. Huff up the wall, then out to center for Romeo. Over to Ogren. Tried to run the give and go, but sticked away by Kroll. Wrapped up his man and left the loose puck for Seelinger. Chipped it down low for Davenport. Whacked around to the near wall, but Romeo in on the pinch for the Rough Riders. Ogren back over to Corneely. Back into the corner for Ogren. Double teamed up to the point Corneely. D to D over to Huff. Low shot, went wide. Rebound past a crashing Romeo and out through center comes Seelinger, and now Tylik right wing. Around the glass it came to Kiss past Seelinger, and Corneely will pry it free up to Romeo and then played to center. Ricocheted there over to Ori, back across to Kiss, and then fired into the right wing corner of the Cedar Rapids zone. Kiss in on the forecheck, trying to get it away from Corneely. He did for a moment, but it rolled into the corner for Huff. Chipped it over to Young around the cage to the far side. Grant up through center was looking for Romeo. Don't know if anybody got a piece of that at center. Nobody did, and so icing will be called on the Rough Riders. 10:49 left in the second period, and it's 2-0 Cedar Rapids. Goals belong to David Bosco, power play goal in the first period, and then here in the second, Noel Ogren. Face off to the left of Cameron will be Zielinski to take the draw against Young. Face off warning on Young, however. Face off one forward by Zielinski, but he couldn't fight his way through a check to get to the puck, and it comes to the Riders. Corneely up to the line. Romeo whacks it out to neutral. Young taken down by Zidlicki. This puck rolls ahead to Davis. Tried to pass it across, but redirected by Howard over to Zidlicki. Zidlicki into the zone, threw a couple of skates to Zielinski, came to Ori. Defenseman into the corner, pitchforked it past Zielinski, came around the wall, but skated into by Davis. Fed ahead at center for Graff. Coming in on the breakaway. Graff, great back check there by a hustling Ori, who lost his stick on the play to deny Justin Graff the time and space he needed. Now it's Zielinski with a rising wrister that missed the cage as we get a little bit of back and forth hockey here. Puck comes down low to Fenton. Trying to work it free is the Des Moines defense, but it's kept at the line by the Bucks. Shot from the left point off the stick of McKell is blocked into the netting behind Ryan Cameron. 9:58 left in this second period. 2-0 Rough Riders. As one of our linesmen down to get the broken stick that was left down in the Buck zone by Keaton Ori. All ready to go, and the faceoff is controlled by the Buccaneers. Back left point for a shot. Rebound, they score! Henry Schmiel took the shot, and Nathan Deladonna, crashing the blue paint, puts it home for the Buccaneers. They're on the board. Time of the goal, 10:06. And not much to break down on that one. Almost call it the classic pass off the pads, just with a little more traffic. Great work by Deladonna to even get that one home. He had a defender draped all over him. And Des Moines cuts the lead in half. We're back to action. Ernst knocked down at the red line. The puck bounces over to Rohrer, back into the zone for Ernst. Couldn't get it back to Rohrer, and Rooney will bring it ahead. Into the zone comes Searles. Left circle, shot blocked to the end wall, stays in play. Deladonna over into the right corner for it. Joust with his man, almost knocked him over. Then Ernst put the body to Deladonna. Up the wall it goes, skated into by Rohrer. He'll get it through center, but couldn't get it to a teammate. It's the Buccaneers with it again. Cross-ice pass, and skating into it is Searles. Searles, right corner, tried to chip it back to a man coming down the middle. That was Rooney. It would not go. Back to the point for a shot that is blocked in front, and unable to whack it out of midair was Rooney at the side of the net. Loose at the side of the cage, came through. Ernst chipped it over to a teammate. Nice work there on the forecheck by Wallen, but couldn't keep it in the zone. Ricocheted back to Winkus in his own end. Lost the puck on a stick handle. Coming in are the Riders trying to tuck it in as we're going to have a penalty on the play. David Bosco drew a hooking call as he tried to make some moves in tight on Max Whelan. And referee Luke Stork says hooking is the call on Becker Winkus. And so Cedar Rapids to the power play for the